joystick is activated. That's a variable speed electric?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do we have the dock assist technology on this one?
Not on this one, no.
Okay, so it's standard joystick. So we've just got Stu up on the bow, releasing the lines. This boat's got the variable speed bow thruster, electric. It looks like an electric.
Yeah, is electric, yeah.
Okay.
Electric side power thrusters.
And joystick. We don't have the Volvo dock assist on this one, so it's going to be manual drive, so to speak. And once we've released all the lines, we're going to go out and do a bit of a touch and go, so you guys can see what the experience is all about, because she's about 70 feet almost, and that's nice and easy for you to reach there. Also access from this wing stations to get off onto the platforms nice and easy, and we have a wing station on both sides. All lines are clear. Okay, so I'm just giving you a bit of a perspective from the bow there. You can see our sight lines forward and aft from this position are great. We can even see through these windows, but the fridge just gives you a slight loss of visibility port midships. It's not really a drama, to be fair. Plenty of space on port. You've got meters on port. Nothing to worry about. Okay, and all clear. Clear to swing. Now, do you want to play with the maneuverability in here?
Yeah, I'll do a quick donut and then reverse up.
Yeah, please do. And just let's let everyone feel what it's like for you at the wing station. So we got dual wing stations on this one, don't we?
Yeah, yeah.
You can feel the displacement of the boat here in the marina. When the smaller the boat, the more they want to lurch around, and you feel the boat moving when the joysticks are engaged. But it feels much more like a big yacht right now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so stable,
it's
especially
very
the
stable.
speed we're turning at the moment.
Yeah.
No sideways movement at all, no rocking, no rolling.
How's about with the wind, the afternoon wind? How long does it take to really take control of the boat?
It is good because Frio, like, you're always the sea breeze, 25 odd knots. Like, this boat handles it so well.
Yeah.
Especially with the side, even though the IPS is magnificent, the bow thruster really just gives that little bit more that you need with our sea breezes.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Because you'd be coming in with 25 knots on the beam.
Yeah, and we have it straight on the beam, comes through the channel here.
Yeah.
And yeah. IPS is awesome, but the thruster does help that a little bit more.
Do you still, like, in terms of a technique, do you swing your bow into the wind, or the IPS and the thruster's got the strength?
Still do the bow into the wind a little bit, yeah.
Yep, to get momentum on your side.
So average sea breeze here can be 20 to 30 knots, like
every
on the
afternoon.
beam, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's a bit on.
Yeah.
That sort of pressure. You know, my mates in Europe wouldn't even leave the marina at 25 knots.
Yeah, we've had some European captains come here and they can't believe.
Yeah.
November, December, January, February, the sea breezes, yeah, it's definitely tests you, especially in the afternoons.
They call it the Fremantle Doctor. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. That lunchtime, 11 o'clock to lunchtime onwards, it hits. And yeah, easily 25, 30 gusting.
Okay. And I see for your pen, you've customised it with the big fenders up there, so you can actually just rest the gunnel up along those
protection's always
poles.
cheap.
Yeah. I'm just going to swing the drone around so you can see. Okay, clear on port. So she tracks nicely in reverse.
Yeah,
from
really
what I
just
can
holds
see.
itself. As long as you got that momentum, she just really holds a good line.
You didn't even use any thruster then, did you?
Just a touch, just to
Alright.
make sure it was working more.
There you go. And when you're operating the boat with guests, are you doing all this by yourself, or you got someone releasing the lines for you?
Normally someone releasing the lines, but with the IPS, it is, if you're a capable boater, you could do it yourself.
Especially now with this new dock assist, that's something that would even make it even easier. But yeah. So no need to touch here. You can just keep it 1 meter off the dock. I just want to let everyone see what's possible. We've got one line dangling in the water, but it's the end of the line is still on the dock, so we're okay.
That could hop off, and then
That's okay.
you're right.
Yeah, that's fine.
There is a line dangling.
It's going to be clear of the props.
That'll be fine.
Okay. So let's side slip just away from this dock a meter or two. We'll just see how she feels. Okay, very noticeable the displacement, even compared to the smaller rivs.
Yeah, definitely. Like that was no thruster at all then, just the IPS. And look how fast we came across.
But also no movement of the hull, no lurching.
No, very stable.
Vibrations are very minimal up here. Interesting. Okay, let's proceed out.
We've done well with the Belize with the visibility. You know, like, even though I'm standing on the starboard side now, to be able to look through the forward and the side windows.
Yeah. I mean, it's a high bow.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider. So I guess having another pair of eyes up forward to communicate doesn't hurt.
Just to make sure.
Yeah. But look from our perspective here, I feel like I can see everything.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to worry about traffic. Awesome. Okay, so let's go from here. We'll get out in the open water and let's put this boat through her paces. Okay, we've moved location. We are just offshore here. We do have a lot of, or relative protection from Rotto, and there's another island just out there, which is giving us relatively calm conditions. But we do have some forecasted wind coming in later today, so if that does come true, I'm going to try and get some more shots in a little bit of wind chop, and we may even find some swell by then, so we'll see. So because Perth is quite reliable for her afternoon sea breeze, as we were saying, even up to 30 knots, although today the forecast is a little bit more moderate, so we will get what we get. But the focus right now is just to talk to you about fuel flow, sensation, visibility. I'm going to do most of this from up on the Flybridge, then we'll transition a little bit later in the video downstairs and drive from the lower helm. I think this is going to be your primary helm for most of the driving you do. This boat has been enclosed in clears. We do have an opening sunroof above us as well, so it's a bit of an all-weather situation, and I've even got beautiful air conditioning on me right now. I'm quite comfortable in this helm chair. I can easily transition to standing, and it's electrically operated up and down, forward and back. It's very, very comfortable actually, super plush. You will notice that the throttle is a left-hand operation, not right-hand, and the helm position, you're somewhat centered, although a little bit offset to port because that's the center line there. So you got plenty of space for guests to enjoy the ride, but also you got that little cozy seat just there, focusing aft because it's kind of cute. And what we'll do is just get the boat up and moving, 8 knots, 1,000 RPM. We're at about 6 litres per nautical mile. She feels like a big boat. So if you're coming out of a 50-footer and you are somewhat apprehensive about moving into something of this size, hopefully we can explain to you what it's like. But for some reason, well, I'll tell you the reason. The bigger they get, the easier they are to operate quite often, because the displacement, the weight is such that it's harder for the wind to overtake the boat. It's harder for the weather to overtake the boat. So she feels a lot more consistent. There's a limit to that, because once you start to break that 70-foot plus LOA, you need more and more hands to operate the boat and feel confident bringing her into the dock, unless you can rely on technology, which is where I believe Riviera / Belize are one of the best companies at the moment, allowing owner-operators to really take control, should they wish. Coming up through 13 knots, 1,600 RPM. I'm seeing 15 litres per nautical mile. That's 200 litres total consumption. Got something in the water? No, we're okay. That's just a bird that is flying. And gonna keep increasing. This boat, it's got about 10 months on the bottom, so she's not totally clean bottom, so I don't expect perfect performance. She's a loaded boat. We've got about half fuel on board and all the owner's equipment. I'm seeing 17 and now 18 knots, 1,880 RPM. You'll see through the drone shots, she doesn't really sink her butt too much on acceleration. I'm doing that gradually and slowly, and I've got the interceptors on auto. We have a gyro on this one for stabilization. It is not on right now, but quite smooth. And so in terms of visibility to the bow, I can see everything from this Flybridge position, and I'm actually going to increase just a couple more knots, and then we're going to head out to sea. 20 knots, 21 knots, 2,000, now 2,100 RPM. Interceptors working, they're at about 80% right now. 16 litres per nautical mile at the moment, and let's do a gradual turn out to sea. So moderate bank through the turns. I'm just doing that as slow turn, but this is a guest-friendly boat in terms of noise levels, minimal. So if you want to be holding conversation, I think you could be anywhere up here on this Flybridge holding conversation, particularly with these clears. You're not going to have any wind, so people are going to be quite comfortable. Their views are going to be exceptional. This air conditioning is very good. So if you're wanting to use a boat like this in a tropical region, it's not going to be a problem, because this is pumping out the AC right now and I feel great. So coming through at 22 knots, 2,080 RPM. I'm going to speed that up in a second. I'm just going to hold this line, straighten her up, and increasing speed. 15 litres per nautical mile. I'm not expecting totally correct fuel numbers with 10 months of anti-foul on the bottom. 2,100 RPM, speed's climbing, 23.5. I'm not foot to the floor yet, still accelerating. 16 litres per nautical mile, 2,140, 2,150 RPM. I think that's probably going to be our max. I'm seeing 24, and you'd probably see 25 knots with these 1350 Volvos, IPSs with a clean bottom. So let's bring the boat back to cruising speed. We'll come back to 21. 13 litres per nautical mile, 1,900 RPM. Comfortable. I'm just going to sit down now. I'm just going to set her on course. We do have the joystick at the helm, which is a nice option. Depending on your setup, if you've got an autopilot, you can actually control the boat with this on long drives, so you don't have to do the steering via the wheel. I don't know if this actual boat has that, but I assume it does, given that we have the joystick at the helm, which is nice. And now I just got to look out for some crab pots, which are up ahead. I think I'm clear for now. And pretty soon I'm going to slow the boat down. And what we shall do, okay, I think I see one there, so I'm going to avoid that. I'm going to come off the pace in a second and just talk to you about some of the displacement speeds. So I'm going to hold this line. I see one there, another one there, and I see another one out there. So now I'm going to actually slow my speed. And let's come off the plane. 1800 RPM. I've got cameras everywhere, but I can also see my waves dissipating behind me. You can hear them obviously with an open flybridge like this, but you've got really good vis aft. I think coming into the dock, you're definitely going to want to use the lower helm or the wing stations. Not the lower helm, you want to be going to the wing stations to get the best vis, but I can see those waves dissipating from up here if I'm just coming off the plane, so I don't bring too much water on board. And under the tender, so we're seeing 11 knots. Okay, crab pot, I think that's a crab pot, and I'm just going to go this way then. And now my fuel is dropping below 10 litres a nautical mile. I'm seeing 10 knots, 10.5 knots in fact, at 9.3 litres per nautical mile, 1,270 RPM, 8.9 litres now. And let's just drop that speed a little bit more. Let's just check our... Okay, so we're still making enough wash to annoy people at this speed. So if we just wind that back a little bit. Okay, fuel flow is now down to 5.8 litres per nautical mile. I'm seeing a GPS of 9.2. We're almost acceptable in a no wash zone, but I think you probably got to see 8 knots before you're not knocking people off their stand-up paddleboards. And there's 8 knots, and the fuel flow's really dropped through the floor now. Now we're at 3.5 litres per nautical mile, a total fuel flow of 26 litres. We saw up to over 300 at wide open throttle, and that's not offensive at all. But I would say throughout the whole run there, the noise levels are quite consistent. You are a fair way away from the motors all the way up here, considering the size of the boat. So this is quite a pleasant place to be. And if you're wanting to transit a few miles, or I think as most of you are going to use a boat like this, just in super social mode and go out for a Sunday cruise, this is a very pleasant place to do it from. Your viz on the screens is never going to be interrupted by any glare. You know, we've got sufficient overhang with this roof, but we've also got some double up with the design of the panel here to stop any extra glare hitting those screens. It's nice to have this 3-screen display sort of consolidated into the one setup here with the AC, drink holders all around, and then your controls on port. So it's all very logical, and we've still got access to all our primary switches down here on the port side, and a few more necessary ones in terms of the bilges on the center line just there, so that's good. Okay, so we've come downstairs for a drive. We're in the process of closing the back window and the back door now, just to get a feel for the noise levels. Once again, air conditioning, fantastic. This is going to be a great tropical boat, guys. Just in terms of the vent placement and strength, it's noticeable on this one. Again, you can see the overhang, which we discussed in the video before is also still bathing us with a fair amount of shade, albeit the sun is on the port side of the boat right now. This seat has some adjustability, but it is relatively high. So again, if you're a big guy or girl or tall person, you're not going to have any issues. But as you can see, my feet can't even touch there at the moment. But that's okay, I'm still comfortable, and I can resolve that by flipping down this footrest here. So they haven't totally forgotten about me, which is fine. So we'll just bring the boat up on the plane. 1100, 1400, and we're just going to feel out noise levels, comfort factor. You notice a little bit more bow raise on acceleration from the lower helm. That's to be expected. I've still got a sight line across the bow, even on acceleration. I'm at 1900 and 2000 RPM now, and you can see that bow dropping as the speed increases, which is to be expected. We do now have a southerly wind has kicked in, about 15 knots. So it's really only just wind chop. There's no swell out here, so that's not going to be possible for us today. But I'm maintaining a very comfortable 15 litres per nautical mile, and the door just opened. Okay, not to worry. 15 litres per nautical mile, feeling pretty comfortable. 2100 RPM, 24 knots, SOG at 2100 RPM. Feeling good, noise level's good. And let's just back that speed off a little bit now. We'll just see how it feels at about 20 knots. And I'm just going to transition to standing. I think for my stature, that's maybe a little bit more comfortable. Back door closing again. And you can really see lots of headroom above me here. So heaps of curvature on this glass. So if you're wearing polarized sunglasses, you may pick it up. So just bear that in mind. Maybe don't wear polarized if you are going to be driving down at this helm for great periods of time. That's good. From here, we shall go stick her back in the pen. That's it, ladies and gents. End of another beautiful day. So I'm going to take this opportunity to sit here in the sun and give you my final thoughts. I hope I'm just doing this myself, so I might have to sit down. There we go. Now you can see me. So, Belize 66 Daybridge. How does she perform? Who's going to see the best value out of owning a vessel like this, and what can we perhaps compare her to in the market? What a lovely vessel, what a lovely piece of kit. It's definitely going to appeal to those of you looking for that bit of a Rolls-Royce energy on a boat. Lovely amount of cutting action at the front, gives her quite a pleasant ride into the chop. Okay, so we've just done a second run. We came back to the Marina and went out again because I wanted to capture some of that low light, and you get a better sensation for her. She's not a speed demon with these twin 1000 horsepowers, 1350 Volvos, but I don't think she's meant to be. So cruising around at moderate speeds with this engine package really means high teens, low 20s, mid 20s top speed, maybe a little bit more. Remember, we've got about 10 months of growth on the bottom, but I can't imagine it being a hell of a lot quicker. But she's graceful, she's predictable, she's manageable. I do think you're going to need to run a boat like this either very experienced or with some crew, and you can absolutely operate a boat like this fully crewed, you know, with a skipper and a hostie if you want the whole luxurious experience. What would she compare with? I think you could put this in the same boat or the same bracket as the Sabre 58 Salon Express. That's already on my channel. You might want to compare it maybe to the Palm Beach 65. I haven't filmed that one, so you'll have to go and do your own research on that. And probably the Princess S65, another lovely brand, and I can see the similarities in terms of the person that's going to be attracted to this vessel. If you want something elegant, if you want something pleasant to drive, but exceptionally beautiful to look at, and just quite an enjoyment to spend time on board, I think that's where this Belize is going to fit quite nicely. And she's just going to be a bit of a dock ornament as well in front of your house, and I know that's important to some people. So definitely fits that mold, and just as good, and better in, maybe arguably better in some of the looks departments as the Riviera brand, which this is under the same umbrella. So if you were questioning what's the build like on one of these compared to a Riv, you are looking at that same very high standard. It's the styling, it's the hull shape, which is the main differences. So I hope that was useful. Jump on the Patreon. You can post questions, and I'm doing video answers in there now. We're also posting things like the pricing, which everybody who is serious about buying seems to be interested to know. So that's going up in the Patreon these days. Love you lots. Coming from WA, I shall see you somewhere in the world next time. Got a lot of travel coming up. See you guys.